Okay, so visualization. All right, I'm gonna. Okay, and we have chapter 3 visualization RMD file. Okay, so use that. Okay, so we are not going to spend a lot of time, but we are going to cover the most widely used visualization methods. Okay, and for that we're going to use the R package called ggplot. And ggplot is the industry standard that's widely used and is very versatile. And the GG here stands for graphic grammar, I think. Grammar of graphics. So that's what GG stands for. So ggplot is the gold standard for visualization. You can just about do any kind of visualization with it. So we're going to learn ggplot for what we need. And why do we need visualization, use the visualization? So visualization is the most important or one of the important parts of data analysis. So first thing before you get into modeling is to understand the data that we have. So visualization is useful to explore and understand the data. Okay? And you'll typically do this with one or more variables. Okay? So you can take one variable at a time and do some plots. You can take two variables, and then you can layer on additional variables when you do a two-variable plot. Okay, so it's part of the pre-processing in data mining task. Okay, it's useful to understand the data structure. Okay, so you can typically use the kind of distribution that the data has by plotting. Okay, and whether there are any where is the missing value concentrated in, or is it spread out everywhere, or is it in a particular column or in a particular set of rows? You can visualize those kinds of things for understanding the missing values. And the relationship between the target, okay, so if you have target on the one hand and your variable on the other, and if the scatter plot is all over the place, that means the predictor is not very good in trying to predict the target. But if you see a pattern, then that is a good sign that this predictor is a good predictor of the target. So those kinds of things. And you can also use visualization for the purpose of data cleaning, because it's going to highlight unusual values. Suppose you have most of the values in one place, and then there are few which are really large or really small that you can see visually. Now that will help us in identifying those outliers and correcting, if there are errors, fixing those errors. Okay, and then you can look at binning and whether it is useful to combine categories. We'll talk more about that a little later. Okay. All right. So plotting with ggplot. So ggplot, you can install ggplot by itself, okay, but it is part of a set of libraries called tidyverse. So that's what I would recommend. So we'll go ahead and install tidyverse. So first thing to do is to install tidyverse. Okay, so install that, and then you run the library. Then you will have access to all of your tidyverse package commands. Okay, one of which is your ggplot. Okay, and when you run tidyverse, it will tell you what are the packages that it automatically sets up. So here, let's see, after this, let's do library. Okay. ggplot2, and let's do message equal to false. Okay. You run that. Oh, sorry. I should tidyverse. Okay. Library tidyverse. So now it tells you what are the packages that it's attaching. It's attaching a package called Tibble, tidyr, readr. So readr is a very good package for reading all kinds of data. And then there is per, and dplyr is really a good package for data cleaning and data preparation. String r is for string manipulation, and forcats is for this is not the forecast, this is forcats. Okay, but here okay, where is ggplot? Oh, it's part of that tidyverse anyway, so I don't know where it is. Okay. Oh, look at this. All right. Okay, to create a plot, we need two things. We need to declare the data that needs to be plotted, okay, and with required aesthetics, and we'll go over that, and then the type of plot we need to, so we want, okay. So here are some of the plot types that we will cover in this chapter. So let's read the data first. So we have the same housing.df, read CSV. Oh, this one's going to be a different file. This is Boston housing, not Westbury. Okay, Boston housing .csv. Okay, so run that. Then we have the Boston housing data set right there. Okay, and in my PDF, I've given the predictor variables that are part of this data set. So we have CRIM, ZN, INDEX, and so on and on. Okay, so I have a description of that in the PDF file. So you'll see that here.